Okay, so let's start talking a little bit about UVs and under the modeling, you can see UV tab, our pennant. So basically we have a UV editor, UV set editor, we have, let's say, option box, yeah, in order to manipulate, for example, the cylindrical um, projection or automatic, how many planes you will use, from which sides you can project it, camera based, and planar, for example, which axis, Y, X, or Z, or a camera-based projection. However, if we will open the UV editor, the pinning, it's not very useful. I think it's like previous versions was a freeze, but yeah, everyone has his own opinion about this, let's say, thing. Okay, so let's move, select by type, it's self-explanatory, by back faces, by front faces, so what type of selection you will do. Soft selection is same like on the mesh. Transform, it's transforming the UVs, I mean like scaling, sizing, and rotation. As you can see, rotation, scale, flipping UVs, textile density, and pivoting on selection or UV area. So in general, let's create any primitive with UVs, and if we will select, as you can see, I'm selecting the UVs, not the vertex, because vertex, as you know, have 4 points. Okay, so we will move the pivot point of the UV area to the corner. In that manner, we can, stay on the grid, let's say. Yeah, great. We can do a selection based. So basically it will try to find the top and left higher point and create the point selection in there. It will be much more useful in the UV based. Okay, so you can select the UV and move through the shells. It's pretty useful when you're working with the UDMs. Distribution, how you will stretch more via U or via V axis. Rotating, you can select rotate in one other direction. You can scale, for example, twice. I want to scale that that object, okay, 10 times, let's say. Press it, be scaled 10 times. Okay, I'll reduce it 10 times to get back to it. Okay, and we can flip it. As you can see, the red inverse normal, blue properly faced normal, and here it's at textile density. We can get we'll have map size and the textile density. We can set it and copy this value to another objects in order to align the textile density. Yeah, let's try to do that. I'll create another cube. I'll select this. Let's say we're selecting one and another. I will select a bigger one. I'll get the textile density, select the another one, the smaller one, and set the textile density. And as you can see, they right now the same textile density, so the same size. Okay, maybe we need to go to the top icons, because I was talking about the stretching and did not explain anything about it. So in the top panels we can see checkerboard. The checkerboard we can see, let's say, how clean unfold is on our, let's say, mesh. As you can see, the distribution of the quads is very equal looking. really great. There is no stretching. Okay, so that one is for a checker. This one for the, let's say, for an image or a texture. Okay, so I probably have some kind of material. I will apply the material to that cube. And as you can see, I can see in the Maya viewport the texture. However, I cannot see the texture in our UV editor. So if I will press that image, as you can see right now, I can see the texture. Great. So what next? In order to see clearly the object's, let's say, wireframe, can press the wireframe button. If you want to see the faces, press the faces. By the way, if you will hold a mouse arrow over the button, it will explain what this button do. So the third one will show the color map, let's say, how stretchy is its map, how bad it's. As you can see right now when I'm dragging objects, the stretching the UVs, we can indicate that. Let's say I will take that one in order to show you how it will deform the quads. As you can see, if it's not properly, and you see the color changing as well. It's impacting the color. It's impacting the UVs. They are not properly unfolded, and already you have all indication where will be impact. Great. So what next? Okay, we'll disable that one. Only shapes border. Where's the cut made? You can see with this tab. If you want to see a shows border, you will create that one, and you see how it's already glowing almost. Okay, and the next one, it's a grid for a UV editor. Yeah, great. So the next button is isolation. It's the same like in Maya, when you're pressing Ctrl and 1 to isolate the object. In here we have the same situation. We have a few objects. We want to, for example, have only these two UVs modifier. We need to isolate them, so we can press it, and we will have only these two UVs on which we will be working. Yeah, great. And the last one, it's a snapshot. You can do a snapshot, and you will have ability to work in the Photoshop or any other application where you can see the UVs of your object. For example, if you export the object and you want to paint something on that image to align on the object, you need to know where your object is placed in the 2D shells. Select the UV snapshot and export it. Open the Photoshop, and you will get this like a wireframe in the Photoshop, and you can paint over it. Yeah, great. So for the rest tools, it's I don't know, I've never used, and I do not see any benefits of that, but if you're very curious, you can go with it. Okay, so there's a transform, there's a create. Create, as I mentioned it before, in the UVs, we have almost all the same operations. For example, automatic, normal, planar, best plane, maybe not in the same order, however, the same options, yeah, the same buttons. However, in here we have an option to do the additional some kind of projection. For example, plane 6. I want to throw it to 12, for example, yeah. And in here it will be like in here set at the default value. Just can't change it. You need to go, for example, in this subcategories and try to find it where you can find in here and change the value with the option box, yeah. Or you go in the top, automatic square for options and set the values which you want. Great. So what we will do, so for our automatic, let's check it what the automatic do. So as we saw in previously in the options, we have 6 planes. So basically it will shoot rays from 6 directions, and the cube has 6 planes, yeah. So basically it's a perfect alignment for that, for a shot, for a cube, yeah, with 6 planes. Okay, let's try it. Boom, and you can see the 6 planes from which was made the shot. And here we have a representation. If you want to change, for example, to 12 planes, you can do it. But as you can see, it's not the greatest representation of UVs in 2D space, because the 6 planes is, to be honest, the best shot for a cube. Okay, so we have in here and in here same buttons. Okay, cylindrical or fuller cylindrical shapes. Let's grab some kind of cylindrical shape and try to use a cylinder. We can control the cylindrical graph you see with these 2 red dots, and we have a pretty nice unfold for a mid part. We have the caps, as you can see, they are stretched very bad. So what we can do, we can use planar mapping. And planar mapping was shot right now, as you can see from the top. Yeah, it's very good, let's say very good shot and very good unfold for the top part. However, in here we don't have a possibility to change. So if we will go to the planar projection settings, you can see that it's under x-axis. We as well can change to the camera-based shot or a z or x-axis. Yeah, great. What do we have next? Camera-based. So basically, if we will select the cube and I want to see the same wireframe in my UV editor 2D representation, I can do the camera-based shot. As you can see, right now we have the same representation of the wireframe. Okay, so spherical, same as a cylinder. Okay, so let's create a sphere. We'll use spherical mapping. It will be the same. We'll create that one. And I believe it should be for a top the green one. Yes, correct. As you can see, right now we made a spherical mapping. Again, it's not the perfect one. We can grab the top areas, do a planar thing, and unfold it in that way, yeah, in that manner. Right now, I'm not trying to align everything in one-to-one space. Yes, we need to do it in some cases. Right now, I'm just showing the options. Okay, so for a spherical, camera-based, planar best plane, it's a best plane, so it's like based on selection. Okay, so for a best plane, I don't know even how to use it. It's some kind of selection of the face and do a best plane, but it's not, let's say, working. And contour stretch, that one is, let's say, create something unusual, like, okay, I will delete all previous meshes, and we can create something like that. And to do some bending or something like road bends, let's say, yeah, it will be a good representation. And as you can see, the UVs are strafe, yes, by default. And that curvy line can be unfolded in a few ways if we will use the planar mapping. As you can see, it's bending. But if I will select all faces and I will use contour, it knows that it should be a strafe in the values, so the strafe UVs, which sometimes can be helpful, sometimes not. Okay, so moving next, we need to cut it because not always we will be happy to unfold the object and have overlaps and some kind of bushes in the UV space. So basically, when we're doing something, we need to unwrap, cut, and unfold. Yeah. Let's try to unwrap something. The hex. Okay, the hex it will be more difficult. Yeah. To be honest, it will be much more difficult. Okay, so I will just reduce a bit quality subdivisions. Okay, so here as you can see it's almost the great unwrap. I mean we can see definitely stretching from the cube size, so it will need to be, let's see, something like that, yeah, in order to see the cubes properly. And the textile density, we already see that it's a very different from the caps and from the body unwrap. Okay, so in the perfect world, as I mentioned, it won't be such cases that it will be everything created for you, so I will delete UVs. Let's do it by ourselves. So we will select the faces, we will do the planar or any other unfolding method. I will go to the unfold. Yes, I'm using the shift button, and you can use the second, where's unfold, cut and so unfold button. As you can see, the same thing. And I will select the rest of the body. I will deselect these faces in the UV editor, which already we projected. And what we can use at this moment, we can try automatic, cylindrical, we can try a lot of things. So probably we can try the contour. We will see what we will get in this situation. It's definitely not the greatest thing to do it. Okay, so I did a cutting line through all the mesh. So cut. I will select it again. We'll try to unfold it. And we can see that it's a bit better situation right now. Very good. Now we need to try to align and make a squares. In general, we can see that it's not bad, but it's not the greatest one. Yeah. Okay, so I will use unfold and unfold along V axis. As you can see in here, you have unfold U, unfold V axis. Yeah. Great. So what we will do, probably we will straighten a bit lines. So I'll try to straighten. Great. To to be honest, not so great and it's really annoying. Okay, so probably I will move to a bit different strategy because we can play it all the day, and we will go then to the align tools. We will try to straighten one by one, something in that manner, and it will be annoying and time consuming, and really it's abnormal to work like that. Okay, so what other options do we have? I don't see in here any other options how to help in this situation. So what we will do, we already have these two lines with two faces, which already greatly projected. However, in here we try to do another thing which is not covered in here. So we will select all faces. I will probably deselect one line of the face in here, like that. And I will right click, we'll go to modify, utilize. Okie dokie. So in here, I will go select all edges, deselect everything the rest, which is not square. I will go then to stitch together. Let's perform this operation. We'll see what we'll get. Great. So yeah, it's a bit, let's say, big, but what can I do? I will scale it down. Everything is cool. As you can see right now, we have a properly quaded that pipe. So we need just to do the same thing for the rest, which we was excluded, let's say. So what I will do, I will project it probably. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so project. No, I will go to modify. I'll do the same thing. I'll utilize and stitch together. Oops. Select it, deselect the rest, and stitch together. Okay, so what I will do next, I will select this line, stitch together. Okay. Oops. Now select the face, go to the transform, get textile density, and set the textile density. Select all of them. We can try to pivoting while we fit the square or cube this the UV editor. However, I will use the layout button. That's it. So basically, right now we have a perfectly unwrapped object. Okay. So what we'll do next,